Okay, so today we are kind of going to begin a new quarkus project, and of course that's a back-end project, but preferably today we're working on an e-commerce. So we're going to work on e-commerce or a shop, and that is able to sell things online, items, products in their categories like electronics, just like Alibaba and any other app like Amazon. So we're going to be starting on it. Yeah, of course it's back end, because first of all we have to record its back end, then we shall later on look at its front end. But first let's record the back end, and after the back end we shall look at the front end separately. I prefer for back end I'm using Java quarkus, and for front end we shall be using Angular, that's TypeScript, and plus Bootstrap 5, which is actually the latest templating. So all that said, I think we can just start off and you see how fast we can go. So first of all, we're going to start by creating a new project, new quarkus project, from scratch of course, and then that project we're going to first of all work on the domains. As you can see, the way, or what we call data modeling, the way we are going to model our data and store it in the DB. So these are our domains here. First of all, we're going to have a shop item domain. That's one that will represent the data of the item itself that we are going to store on the shop, and that item will include things like the item number, which could be auto-generated, and each item number will be unique for every shop item. And we also going to look at the shop categories, and then also title, and then also item description, a little bit of explanation about the item, the price, the shop item price, then the images, and of course the images when the client visits the website or the e-commerce website and he wants to buy something, we need to upload several, like a list of images of that shop item, so that the customer can look at the images and have a feel and look of the product he or she is going to buy. So we are going to also save the local data, local date, that's the creation date. We need to tap and know that when is this product not just created but entered into the database. So whenever we bring products on board and we are entering them into the e-commerce database such that they can be viewed by the customer, we need to know when was this product entered and who entered it in that case. But for now, let's first do this. These are our data models of how the object, which shop item, is going to be looking like. So let's go ahead and look at because as you're inputting the shop item, somebody must be logging in and should be the one inputting. So probably we have a user. In this case we have several users, where we have a customer who comes, a visitor comes to the website, and that's just a normal user. So we only in only one circumstance where we store this user's data is when the user is actually proceeding to cart after shopping or selecting products that he or she is going to buy, send them to cart. Then as you're checking out on cart and when the customer is ready to pay, we need to know he or she, so he needs to create an account with us. So as he creates accounts, we need to record all his biodata, not all, but at least the one that is essential to us as we are working with our store. Things like the username for the customer, we need to know who is this guy buying things from the store, his email, and password, then role, and finally the profile pic, because as you have the account, on top you're going to have a profile pic. and the profile pic will be the same pic for the customer. And then the role, for customers, we shall have a role which is preset for customers, and that role will be customer, and that role has been taken care of in user types. We have user types here, where we have in our statics, it's an enum. I will be explaining all that and how it's done and what are enums and why do we have this arrangement of our data. This is actually kind of the simplest arrangement of any quarkus program that you would like. So we have user types like agent, admin, and customer. So the customer is the one we've just talked about, the guy who is coming in to buy the item on the website. That's the client. Then we have the admin, who is the overall guy, the owner of the business. So he can go ahead and create, so he sets up everything for the systems or for other users to use. Then we have the agent. This agent is now probably a salesperson or a customer support salesperson on the back end, or in the on the center, or where we can pick calls and probably do some support. So these are the guys, the agents are doing support. The admin will actually be the overall guy, and actually for the admin we've set kind of an initializer for him, meaning that for him he already has an account preset. This is Firebase initializer. Here we have our initializer. Here, this is where we set our initial parameters. So our initial user, or the first person to log into the system and set everything up, is the admin. So that's why he's actually initialized into the system. His username is admin. His profile pic, he can edit that anytime. That's why we left it empty. Role is admin, and then email, that's it, at shop.com. and then his password also preset. Probably you can change most of these, but at least we must have an initial user who comes in to use the system first. So that's how the users are gonna be. We were looking at the first type of users, which is the customer, and we also looked at the agent, what he does, and the admin, who is the overall. So I'm going to be providing a source code for all this. Don't need to worry about this. And also, apart from the source code, I'm going to be showing you everything around and how to do it in real time, live. Apart from that, then we shall have a file resource. The file resource will just help us to upload images, but basically here the way we deal with images is a kind of simpler. We upload the images on the server, or those file system handling, as you know, servers. You can use a Dropbox or Firebase, or there are very many, DigitalOcean, stuff like that. But for now, we shall be using a Firebase to store our images or any other file. In any case, the guy wants to download or look at images, but at least when we are uploading the image, this is how we do it. We upload the byte into the server, and then create or generate what we call a link, or a link to that image on the server, and then send that link to the database. So in the database, basically we're storing that as a link. Of course, a link is stored as a string, so that's why when you go back to the shop item, we have our image as a string. So this is actually an image URL or an image link that links to certain image in the server or on the file server. So that said, of course the rest will be explained during the code. We have repositories. This is so much into the program. As soon as we start our course, I'll be explaining everything. Domains, if you don't know what the domains mean, I'll be putting them in my basic tutorials of Java and Quarkus, and you can again watch them after you've subscribed, of course, to the channel. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Then what else? Nothing much now, but at least we can continue to look at how the system is going to be working. Now we are going to be having a chance to view how everything is going to be laid down, as this is our DB having only just two domains, which is that's user and shop item. Okay, so let me first check here and see how far we've gone into this. Just 10 minutes. Okay, we are still in this video, so we can go ahead and do a little bit of introduction. I don't know how you prefer it, but I think I'm just going to do it within this file. Okay, so you can go ahead and create a new project. Then after creating a new project, we shall start off to code one by one. So that introduction, I will be seeing you in part 2. This was just an introduction to what we're going to be doing in this course full. So, and I guarantee you by the end of this course, or by the end of this system, by the time we finish it, you will be thorough with quarkus and at least Java, some basics of Java. Though I will be sending you to my Java basic tutorials, but at least we'll be thorough with how to set up quarkus. For best use or best practice in this tutorial, I would recommend you come when you know your basic Pojo, that's plain old Java, and you should be at least let me just introduce you to the new quarkus framework, but at least you should be knowing our your Java, basic Java, and then what else? You should be knowing some SQL. That's MySQL. We're using MySQL for DB, and you can see here in our application properties we are using MySQL for DB. This is it. We're storing our data in MySQL DB. You can see this. Database type should be somewhere here. Yeah, quarkus data source the DB kind, which is MySQL. It's here. And we have a local DB that is actually hosted on our machine called shop. That's where we're going to be saving all this data. And then we have the password as root, of course, we're logging in as root, and this is going to be hybernate.orm. So we're using panache hybernate.orm for, of course, dealing or interacting with our database. That's for repositories. So it's a framework. It's actually a very good extension. I will be showing you how to install that in our POM. For people who have maybe probably if you want to see about a POM, this is everything that we have in a POM. We're going to be discussing how to add dependencies in this POM file, and of course to import more and more into our project. So it's really easy stuff, and how to run the project. Right now the project is not running, but we can go ahead and run it here, quarkus div, to just compile it. So this like I said, these tutorials are just for purposes of introduction. I'll be seeing you in the next part 2, which will be now at the real beginning of the system, where we shall start with making or modeling our data and saving data into the database. Then later we shall be indulging in the cool stuff of coding. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in part 2, and sure to watch part 2. This is how we're beginning our software or our system. Okay, thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.